Today I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the lack of inventory in the marketplace. I know I've been posting blog posts and market reports, but as many of you know, I'm affiliated with Century 21. Our CEO, Chief Executive Officer Mike Miedler, was actually a guest on Squawkbox last week, and he is saying the same thing I'm saying, and he sees it at a broader level, at a national and almost international level. So market needs more inventory. See what Mike Miedler has to say.
That stimulus package that was going to the president's desk included $25 billion that was going to be used to pay past due rent, future rent, utility bills, and other household expenses. But the latest developments, of course, out of Washington could put that on hold, at least for now. Right now, joining us to talk more about the housing market and the trends that might continue into the new year is Mike Miedler. He's the CEO of Century 21 Real Estate. And Mike, thank you for joining us today. We know what a crazy year that this has been on just about every level. The housing market, no exception to that rule. I think what may be the biggest headline to kind of write home about at the end of this year is the incredibly low supply. I think this is the lowest supply level you've seen in terms of homes on the market, going all the way back to when you first started tracking this back in the early 80s.
Yeah, way back when NAR was tracking this. I mean, we're at about 2.3 months of supply right now, gang, which is like just way outside of the normal range, which is generally a 6-month supply. It's about 1.28 million homes that are on sale in the market across the country. And it's actually the biggest impediment to getting more folks into homes. We've got such a strong demand, as you heard earlier, on the mortgage side of the report. And, you know, with interest rates where they're at and so much more purchasing power in people's pockets, you've got a lot of household formations coming out there, and they're tired of renting, and they're looking for more space and moving out to suburban and even rural communities, and looking to start their own homes and start increasing their equity. So it's been an amazing run, as you say, certainly a roller coaster from March to where we're at right now. But I expect it to continue really into 2021 based on what we're seeing out in the marketplace around the country.
You know, there were some interesting trends that we were seeing even before you had the pandemic that started back in March. We had been seeing some of the millennials actually getting out there and buying homes, like delayed from what previous generations had done. But the millennials were actually out there buying their first homes and starting to do that. And then you had the pandemic that saw so many people that were fleeing the big urban areas, trying to get out of crowded apartments and into their own homes. When the pandemic goes away, what's this all going to look like? How much of this was driven by the pandemic, and how does that change once we really get vaccines out there in force?
Yeah, I think, like you said earlier, a lot of it is driven by the pandemic. You've got literally $1 million plus homes are up 40% by the mid-year mark. So it's not just that first-time home buyer, which is still about 32% of the marketplace. But you're right, millennials, there's 90 million of them out there. They're really the driving force behind the demand. And, you know, what we're seeing, unfortunately, is you get a lot of first-time home buyers who are making, 5, 10, 15 offers and nothing getting accepted. So I think they get a little bit frustrated. You might see a little bit of a lull during the holidays and people taking some time off from the home buying process or even looking. But I was talking to one of our brokers down in Dallas last week. They had 100 families through an open house over a weekend. So the demand continues to remain strong in almost every market that we see. And I think you're going to see that continue into 2021 and beyond as this generational shift starts forming more households across the U.S.
What's that done to pricing?
It's been crazy for pricing. So that's the one thing you start worrying about is affordability in general, right? We've now had 105 straight months of year-over-year price gains. The median price across the country is about $311,000 according to NAR. Here's the thing, though. If you look at the median price of a home at the interest rates that we were talking about a little bit earlier, it's still cheaper to buy a median price home and pay the mortgage than it is to rent. So, that's good news for the home buying public, but it is a concern as prices continue to creep up.
That's the median on a nationwide basis, but obviously not every geographic area is created equal at this point. Where are you seeing the hottest markets, the biggest price spikes?
Yeah, as you guys can imagine, a lot of folks are fleeing the cities, the New Yorks, the San Franciscos, the Bostons. They're headed to places like New Jersey, like where, you guys are headquartered right across the river in Edgewater, right? Where I am, a couple miles away. New Jersey's been one of the biggest state gainers as far as net population. 9 million people have relocated since this. And you see a lot of folks going to mountain towns, even to rural areas. Our folks in Salt Lake City, our folks in Jackson Hole, Wyoming, they're all seeing huge surges in demand and year over year transaction units. So it's been pretty incredible. People want more space. They want a Zoom room. They're homeschooling. They're working from home like I am right now. It's their home gym. So people are looking to spread out and really do a lot more from their personal residence.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.